plan. It's going to push people into
please let Liz Truss
misery.
answer. Please let her answer.
When inflation gets out of control, interest rates go up,
Rishi
that's
Sunak,
what happens.
please let Liz Truss answer.
I don't accept those points.
Well, look, we all took a decision to protect the economy and support the NHS through COVID. And of course, we all knew there was a bill that we needed to pay for that. So the question is, should we pay that bill ourselves, or do we put it on the country's credit card and pass the tab to our children and grandchildren to take care of? Now, I don't think that's right.
I would start paying it down in 3 years.
Liz, that's simply not right. You promised almost £40 billion of unfunded tax cuts, £40 billion more borrowing. That is the country's credit card. It's our children and grandchildren, everyone here's kids, who are going to have to pick up the tab for that.
Rishi, that is not true. Countries like the US, Canada and Japan all have higher levels of debt than the UK. Hard-working taxpayers who do the right thing have seen their taxes rise, despite the fact that we promised in our manifesto not to do it.
Hang on, Faisal.
I think that is what is wrong.
You just mentioned 3 countries. Do you know what mortgage rates are in the US at the moment? Do you want to use them as an example? Their mortgage rates are almost 50% higher than mortgage rates in this country because they're borrowing so much.
I'm sorry, this
Canada.
is scaremongering.
Canada actually has
Project Fear.
Yes, there's been this conversation today, hasn't there, involving Nadine Dorries, the Culture Secretary, one of your supporters, Liz Truss, in which she compared favourably your thriftiness as far as your earrings are concerned with Rishi Sunak's choice of expensive footwear and even more expensive suits. The serious point here is, does this matter?
Well, I think in the Conservative Party, we judge people by their character and their actions. I'm proud of my record as Chancellor.
Look, I don't have any issue with how expensive anybody else's clothes are, and actually I think Rishi is a very finely dressed person.
But what we do need to do is acknowledge that China is a threat to our national security, it's a threat to our economic security. But we also need to stand up for our values. And for example, when it came to Hong Kong, I was pleased to ensure that we put the funding in place to welcome to this country thousands of fleeing who wanted to leave Hong Kong.
Rishi, I challenged you on this in the debate last week. As recently as a month ago, you were pushing for closer trade relationships with China. This is not something you've advocated in government. I'm delighted that you've come round to my way of thinking.
You said not that long ago that our relations with China were entering a golden era.
I think that was almost a decade ago.
No,
I said that,
Rishi. It was just a few years ago. You went on a trip there and you wanted to deepen collaboration in areas like food security and technology.
In this war with Russia and Ukraine, would you be prepared to deploy the Royal Navy?
I am not prepared for the United Kingdom to become directly involved in the conflict.
We also, and I did this as Chancellor, made sure that we supported Ukraine financially with the arms and weapons they need to defend themselves, and actually it's something that Liz and I worked together on.
Hasta la vista, that's what he said when he spoke in the last Prime Minister's questions last week. I'll see you later. Would you be happy to work with him? Would you like to work with him?
I very, very much suspect that he would not want a future role in the government.
That wasn't quite a no, was it, in terms of potentially involving him in government? Were he to want to? You were assuming he wouldn't?
I don't believe that he would want further involvement.
I'll give you my 2 cents. I think the simple answer for me is no. I think we need to look forward at this point.
We've always got on well, and I think we've shared a belief in Britain. I've already said that you're a sharp dresser, so that's not something you need to work on. But the thing I think you should work on, and I want to work on this with you, and if I win, I would love you to be part of my team, is taking more risks and being bolder, because I think that's what we need to do as a country.
Okay, and
we cannot just have more business as usual.
We're running out of time. Rishi Sunak, what quality would Liz Truss need to work on if she were to become Prime Minister?
You know, we had this in another debate, and I'm not going to do it again because I have enormous respect and admiration for